We are 22S Radio, the next wave of K Beach. 22S Radio is 22smedia.com and 88.1 FM KKJZ HD3, Long Beach, Los Angeles. Welcome back to Talking with Spencer program, guys. I have two wonderful guests with me in the studio today. I'm going to now turn to them, and they're going to introduce who they are. Hey, guys.
Hey.
How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Good.
So would you like to introduce yourself and tell us who you are and what you're doing here today?
My name is Dubra, and I'm currently MillsWasChosen's manager. We're just here to showcase Mills and discuss what he's got going on.
All right, that's perfect. If you could do me a favor and move the microphone closer to you.
Absolutely.
Can you say something again?
Say that, what I just said again?
Yes, or anything.
Oh, well, my name is Dubra. I am MillsWasChosen's manager, and we're just here to discuss what's going on, what we have planned for the future. Got it? That's good.
Yeah, okay, perfect.
Do it again.
All right, no, you're good.
Okay.
Right, perfect. So let's talk about your background. I've heard a little bit of your music before. You just released a new album, is that correct? Stay Tuned 3?
Yes.
Yeah. I haven't heard it yet. Here's the thing, because I'm a SoundCloud person.
Okay.
And it's not on SoundCloud yet.
Yeah. I'm gonna put it on SoundCloud. Honestly, the reason behind that, I was trying to run the numbers up off of all the major streaming platforms first, and then release it on SoundCloud because it's not my album per se. I still see it as a mixtape. So I'm gonna end up releasing it. Can you hear me better?
Yeah.
I'm gonna end up releasing it on SoundCloud and all the other streaming platforms such as SoundCloud, like DatPiff and everything else soon.
Okay. So what could you say that I could expect when it comes out on SoundCloud and I'll be able to hear it?
Man, definitely originality. Definitely like a fuse of different genres. And just something fresh, something brand new. Because if you're tuned in based off of my SoundCloud releases, it's way better than anything I got up on the cloud right now.
Interesting. So is there anything you would say that you're tired of hearing in the IE sound that inspired you to make this album that has something new to it?
Well, yeah. I released a project about 6-7 months ago called Strictly for the West. And me personally, I really don't make West Coast music like that. But it was something that I had tried due to my peers and due to just the way I was feeling at the moment. And I feel like the area I come from, we tend to gravitate to what's popping. And the closest city to us popping is LA. And it kind of has always been like that, but it's more so, I want to say, the past few years more than ever because of the Kendricks and the Mozzies and the big California names, the Nipseys, you know what I mean?
YG.
Exactly, yeah. YG. And so even their underground scene, they have a crazy underground scene going crazy right now too. But I feel like us as the Inland Empire being about 45 minutes away from them, we always kind of took from that. And it kind of stole our identity to where we never really had a clear identity.
Okay, well, now that we're on that topic, could you just tell us a little bit where you're from?
Yeah, I'm from the Inland Empire, Fontana Rancho area mainly. But man, I've been around all over the IE. I'm known everywhere.
So, who would you say in California influences you the most?
In California?
Well, no, let's jack that part of the question. Just who your influences in the most. I feel like I could guess a few.
Well, I want to hear your guess first.
Why?
First. Because I like to see.
Okay, all right. So I don't know, because when I listen to your music, I usually see two roads. It's either a neo trap like Travis Scott,
okay,
or just rap,
okay,
more of a, I wouldn't say Kendrick Lamar, but more melodic rap than Kendrick Lamar. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Those guys are definitely dope to me. I would say more Kendrick than Travis.
Okay.
I like Travis as an overall artist. I think he's an amazing producer. but artistically he doesn't inspire me too much. It's more so like my biggest inspiration is Michael Jackson. Honestly.
Really?
Yeah, my biggest inspiration at the end of the day, if anyone asks me who my favorite artist ever is, Michael Jackson.
Well, he's in the news now.
Yeah. And that's a whole other story. But Michael Jackson, but it varies. Like, dude, I used to listen to, I was the kid in high school that was listening to like Gucci Mane and Lil Boosie and Future. Shout out to my homie Isaac. He put me on to all these people, like all these Southern artists. I was not hip on Southern artists. Nobody really was when we were in high school. So
how old are you? Are we asking?
I'm only 23.
Okay.
23, yeah.
Yeah. How old were you when you first discovered those people?
Bro, I was like a freshman in high school.
Yeah, it seems to me like maybe not that soon ago, but
Yeah.
like it took a while for Southern artists to get like notoriety.
Well, I won't even say that because I'm a real music head, bro. So like you got to think there was Outkast.
Yeah, it started with Outkast, and then there was Ludacris.
Yeah, there was Ludacris, right?
Yeah,
and they had their own movement back when Jermaine Dupri, So Def era. That was they were going crazy. Atlanta was still going crazy. People don't realize Atlanta's had the whole 2000s.
Yeah,
if you really want to put it that way, you feel me? So, yeah, I don't feel like they just. I feel like the trap music, just started getting bigger. Not necessarily the Southern sound because, like I said, they've had their artists, but the trap music, like I was just having this conversation when Gucci Mane first got out of jail. Nobody knew about Gucci Mane out here like that. Nobody. Like they may have heard of him, but they were saying he was trash. Same with Lil Boosie, trash. Once Gucci Mane got out of jail, Lil Uzi was really big. Lil Uzi and literally bridged the gap with the youth for trap music to me. And that's what really made the South blow up.
I can see that. Where is Uzi from again?
Uzi's from, I have no clue where he's from.
Let me look it up.
Yeah. I have no clue where he's from.
I can see how his sound.
But his sound definitely bridged, I feel like, that gap for the youth to where the youth started to identify with trap music more and more across the globe instead of just in the South.
He's from Philadelphia.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's from Philly. Yeah, he's from Philly. He's from Philly. But he still took that trap sound.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like, it's cultural exchange.
Yeah.
Like you go from one place to another, you learn something, and then
that
culture flourishes in wherever area that it's settled down in. That's what I think is interesting about, well, not just music, but just black people in general.
Yeah.
Like, we have influences that span multinational.
Yeah.
It just goes everywhere. I'm taking this class right now, and we were talking about hip hop. It's intro to hip hop, and we're talking about how hip hop culture, which originally started in the Bronx, in the poorest of the poor communities, because of after World War II, slums and clearances are pushing the rich, more affluent immigrants out of the Bronx and left Latino, Puerto Rican, and black families to basically starve to death. Mm-hmm. And that's where hip-hop culture came from. But within the end of that decade, it was already reaching groups in China, in Japan. Mm-hmm. And they take it into something else. And that's where essentially the K-pop movement comes from. Yeah. It's from breakdancing and somewhat hip-hop terms in Japan and in other countries.
Yeah.
I think it's crazy how that could come up from such a humble beginning.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. Our publicist had just sent us this video the other day, and it was kind of like a funny video, but about like the current hip hop, the current state of hip hop right now. But it was like also an informative video, and pretty much the guy was just explaining like in a funny way, kind of on some like Taj. What's his name? Taj.0?
Taj.0.
Yeah. Kind of on some like spin-off shit like that. And I'm sorry, I don't know if I can cuss. But pretty much he was saying like how it's just crazy how hip hop has evolved, and it's the biggest genre in the world right now.
Oh yeah,
And it was never like you said, how from where it started is humble beginnings, bro. No one ever would have thought it to be the biggest genre in the world.
yeah, it used to be rock and roll.
Yeah.
And then people slowly started to get away from that, and now it's hip hop.
It was rock and roll. It was pop. Pop and rock and roll were going back and forth for a long time. And even in America alone, it was country too.
Yeah.
Country. So I was always surprised to not even hear country not even mentioned, because country was the biggest thing for a while.
It was. And especially a lot of, you can see its influences in other music.
Yes. All music. I'm not going to lie. I was working at Target like a year ago. I had this white homie. He used to listen to country music all the time. He was playing some country trap music one day. I shit you not, bro. Me and the homie was tripping like,
oh my God.
Bro, is that a snare? Like, it had some hi-hats. I said, dang.
Yeah, country, especially country.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna sit here and lie. It's had a very specific demographic.
Yeah.
To reach a certain
That's
group of
true.
people.
Exactly.
But do you watch the Grammys?
I dabble in it. I don't watch it.
Okay,
I'm not
yeah.
gonna lie
So
to you.
basically, this past year at the Grammys, a country album won Album of the Year. And it was, I wouldn't say unexpected, but compared to what was nominated for Album of the Year, no one really saw that coming. And
What people don't realize is because of like how presidents are elected. It's certain votes that matter more than just our votes.
Yeah, that's true.
You have to be part of the electoral colleague.
like the
That's-
Academy of the Grammys.
Exactly,
Yep, the Recording
exactly. And
Academy.
people don't understand that. And I feel like, even the artists that like slander the Grammys, I get it, because I do feel like it's very biased sometimes. But in the same sense, it's like the same thing we were talking about years ago before Barack Obama was elected. We're going to sit here and talk about the polls being bullshit, or are we going to sit here, or are we going to do something about it and go out and vote and see how we can be eligible to get in these
In the Academy.
right,
and stuff like
exactly.
that.
Do the educate your people on how to get on the
It's-
academy
it's
so
like-
we can get the better votes.
Chris Brown said it the best. You just hate the clubs you can't get in.
Yeah, period.
Yeah,
period.
like,
And it makes sense. There's nothing wrong with it, because it's your emotion, your instinct. But in the same sense, these same people, let's be real. We can educate the same energy you're using. You can use that same energy to educate your people,
Or you could just make your own.
or you can
Yeah.
exactly make
And
your
I-
own awards. We can make our own awards. I saw something. I saw what was it? Some type of ad. You know how Twitter has a bunch of ads now. I mean, Instagram has a bunch of ads nowadays. I saw somebody has an ad. They're posting. They're about to start a black-owned supermarket. I don't know if you guys seen that.
yeah. I've seen
Oh,
that.
it tripped me out. I just seen it like 2-3 days ago. I was like, that's big. Because I've seen all types of black, we've all been to like a Louisiana fried chicken spot, seen some black stuff. We just went to that fish market in Pomona. They had a bunch
That
of,
was right on the corner.
yeah, it looked like a hood staple in Pomona. But we went
Hey,
to this fish market, and they had a bunch of like black owned like sauces, seasonings, and I seen stuff like that growing up. But it's cool to see that someone's trying to fund not only one market, but a whole franchise
Yeah.
of black-owned supermarkets. Because he was saying, even in the video, everyone's doing it. I've seen the Korean market. I've seen the Mexican market, El Super, Cardenas. They got a few now. And that's me being real.
Yeah, it's just like, well, as much as, I do appreciate like black-owned businesses, there aren't enough of them.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Absolutely.
Not as much in comparison to population we take up in the United States. And you're right. It seems like every other community has their own busineses and they monetize it. The only
Bro,
problem
even
is
down to a bank. They even got banking. Every culture.
it seems like that's where it'd be the place to start.
Dog, I
is to
didn't
get
even
put
know.
wealth in in those communities.
Bro, I didn't even know Mexicans had their own banking until I went into the Cardenas by my crib the other day, and they have banking, like Mexican banking.
They do.
And it's like, bro, we don't notice because come on, every time we go in Cardenas, it's very rare, for one. For two, we're going in there for some Mexican products, no offense. And we're in and out. It's not like let's go to the stop at the, ATM. And But boy, when I went in there I had to go in there to cash a check. Went in there to cash a check. I said, they got a whole bank. That's not a Wells Fargo. That's a L whatever. No offense,
It's like, because, well, we're gonna talk about your New York trip in a minute, but yeah, especially in New York, that's where you see a lot of these like communities, like Little Tokyo,
absolutely,
Little Beijing.
I'll honestly say any big cities though. Even in Los Angeles, we got Chinatown. We got.
There's a little Cambodia, there's a little Vietnam right down the street from here. So yeah. But I want to get onto your trip to New York. So, what were you there for to begin with?
I actually was there for a multitude of things. Outside of working with Mills, I'm working on some product development, hair care line, but I also went for Mills because I knew Mills' billboard was getting ready to go up, and my business partner, who I'm working with the product development with, it just happened all at the same time. Like, the timing was just right. And in the meantime, I was just waiting. I knew I was going to go to New York. I just didn't know when, but when my business partner said, hey, we got an appointment for product development, I said, boom, cool, that's a great time to get Mills on the billboard, kill two birds with one stone. And so it just all worked out. My product development took place at the beginning of the week, at the end of the week when I got there. And then in the meantime, I was working on Mills' press release to go out for Stay Tuned 3 and working on the billboard, and the billboard popped up on Monday. And then, of course, just to, see the city and check out the culture and the vibes and just hang out a little bit.
So your first time in New York City?
No, actually, this is my second time. I went last year in the summer for a expo, kind of just checked it out. It was more so a quick trip. It wasn't like as long as it was this one, and this time it was actually colder. I went in the summer last year. It was literally 19 degrees. I was out waiting for Mills' billboard. Hecka cold, but it was all worth it.
Okay, yeah. I feel like you're undermining what you just said about the billboard. So you got to explain this again.
Okay, I'll explain.
Where was this billboard?
Absolutely.
How long was it up? Because I saw it on Instagram, but I'm like, yo, like, what is going on here?
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
So the billboard was placed off of 43rd and 7th Avenue, right in the heart of Times Square. It's on the Thomas Routers billboard, right next to the Hard Rock Cafe. Literally across, it's literally like in the heart of it. Like, not many people know, but New York is big, but it's small, very compact. So literally, like, it starts, Times Square starts either at 43rd or 46th Street. So depending on what avenue you're coming from or what way you're going. But literally, he was at the heart of Times Square, and literally, like, it was actually one of the biggest billboards there. And the billboard is actually, today's Wednesday, it's still up as of right now.
So how long is it going to be up for?
3 days, Monday through Wednesday, but they said that they can guarantee a whole week. It just depends because it's in a queue. Okay. So, yeah, 3 days. Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you get that up there?
Well,
that was the question behind, like, that was the first thing I thought of when I saw, like, how did you get it up there?
I'm gonna just be completely honest with you. Like, every
man, hold on. We just gonna say this. Shout out to Heather
West.
Yes. West. Shout out to Heather West.
Yes.
We have an amazing publicist.
She's
I have an amazing team, and that's all I can really say because we don't want to give out too much. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
And I have no problem. It's not me being stingy with my resources, but it's just like we work really hard for that. And if anyone has any questions regarding that, they can definitely contact us, and we have no problem, sharing. But
absolutely.
that's the most I can say.
It's just and to be honest, I'm a heavy faith believer. Like, even just me seeing the billboard, like, that was nothing but God. Like, God literally gave me a dream at the exact time to go. I had this exact outfit, and that exactly when it's what happened. Many people, when you're on a billboard in New York, many people are like, you're not going to see that. Like, it's just going to go. But, it just worked out, And it's I put in a lot of work into everything that I do, especially for Mills, because with stuff like this, just with the billboard in general, and just in the industry, you have to be very strategic and calculate your steps accordingly, or it's not going to work. You get me? So, but yeah, it was it worked out, Literally, I was getting ready to get on a plane 5 hours before, and his billboard popped up. So
that's amazing.
Yeah. So it all worked out.
That's a story.
The story is even crazy, bro, because we set it up in a way to where we thought the billboard was gonna go out the day she landed out there. So she's like already, you know, like waiting for the billboard all day. Long story short, another miracle ended up happening in that situation.
Yep.
But we came to find out through like calling the people that it wasn't even going to show up till the next week. So we're like, dang.
And I strategically, this is again following your plans with all of this stuff, even just working diligently. I purposely booked my trip longer than I normally was going to stay, because I was going to just stay for like 3 days. I was just going for product development. But then when I knew, because even before I started working with Mills, I knew I was going to New York. But I knew, I'm like, okay, I got to book my trip longer just in case. You know, you gotta prepare for stuff like that, especially because when you're traveling, you don't know who you're gonna connect with. You don't know who you're gonna meet. You might have a meeting, and in the meantime, I was hitting, you know, different people that I could possibly meet in New York. So I purposely booked my trip longer so that way I can make sure that billboard was seen.
Yeah, well, that's good looking. Yeah. All right, so we're going to take a quick break.
Absolutely.
We will be back after these short messages from our sponsors.
And if I would have brought
22.
food, I couldn't have ate in here, huh?
Wait, what was that?
I couldn't have ate in here, huh?
Nah.
Okay.
Nah.
Wait,
what? Hold on. Did I miss something?
Nah, because I have food, and I smacked it right before we came in.
What was it? Chick-fil-A?
Hell yeah, bro.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Yo.
He had me when he's like,
hey, I'm sorry. Look, I already threw you off. Do your thing, bro. Do your thing. My fault.
Nah, that's fine. Okay. So basically, here's the thing. Now that you brought that up, I gotta talk about how much I love Chick-fil-A.
Oh, let's talk about it. Talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Now, I prefer Chick-fil-A breakfast over its lunch.
Okay.
I agree with you.
And I'm being real. I'm that guy who's never had the breakfast enough to tell you.
Then
that.
you haven't had Chick-fil-A. You just haven't had it.
I it's not that I haven't had it. I haven't had it enough to form that opinion.
So, when you went to Chick-fil-A for breakfast, what did you get?
I didn't get it for myself. See, I have a family. Okay. So I got it for my girl at the time.
Okay.
And she wanted the little what's those?
The minis?
The minis.
That's what you get.
That's what they call.
That's what you get.
So I know I know I was in the right direction. I eat good food. Okay.
All right. That's fair. That's fair. Now, what I love about Long Beach, and what was really the setting stone reason why I moved here, because I got accepted into here. This is after I applied to transfer. I got accepted here. I accepted into UCI, and I got accepted into Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. I didn't want to go to San Luis Obispo because it was too white, and UCI was a close second because it was right there. Irvine's kind of cool, whatever.
Yeah.
But when I came here to visit a friend, I went on a tour, got like at the campus. I was gonna choose UCI before this school, but it was 10:30 in the morning. I'll never forget this story. I told myself I want Chick-fil-A. So I went to Chick-fil-A, and by the time I got there, it was 11 o'clock, and they stopped breakfast at 11 o'clock. And I asked them, can I still get a chicken minis? And they said the most beautiful words. We have breakfast all day here. The most beautiful words I've heard.
Wait, what Chick-fil-A is this?
The one off the traffic circle.
It has to be the one.
That's the one.
They do it all day.
All
and
day.
they have the sauce counter. I don't know if all Chick-fil-A's have that.
No, they don't. Because the one in the one in the
they
IE
have the sauce like bro.
Don't have the sauce.
I don't think in the IE
they don't.
We've seen because they be tripping.
People are stupid.
People are.
They be like, "How many sauces you need?" I'd be like, I walked up. We're inside, bro. I'm used to going. I don't go inside of Chick-fil-A. I usually go through the drive-thru, bro. We go inside. I order, and I'm so used to ordering and then telling them the sauces. So I tell her, she's like, "Is there anything else?" I'm like, "Yeah, let me get some Chick-fil-A sauce." And then she's like, "Sir, the sauces are over there." I said, "Oh yeah. You feel me?" I tried to play cool,
yeah. I know.
Because all the Chick-fil-A's I go to are in the Inland Empire, and they give you the sauce.
They give you the sauce.
They used to have it back in the day. They used to
there used to be a counter where you would go out and get it with like ketchup,
they
sugar.
They had it all.
They had
it popping. It was full to the max. I was like, man, they must not be no black people around this area.
I can't.
Hey, but your school is popping. I see why you chose it, bro. Because we walked in, I said they got a bowling alley.
Oh yeah, the one
I know that
right
threw
over
you.
there.
I know that caught your attention.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you bowl, but I would have been thrown off. Like, bro, they got a bowling alley.
Yeah, it's not just the school. itself, it's the area around the school.
That's right.
Like, what the hell am I gonna do in Irvine on a Friday night?
Yeah.
Yeah, like what is there? Like there's just suburban houses and what office parks? Like what am I gonna do?
Same thing you would have been doing in the IE, man.
Exactly.
Smoking weed with one of your buddies.
Yeah. Man, that's another thing. Like now that we're on that topic, it's crazy how much that's accepted here. It's normal.
Oh, how weed is accepted?
Yeah.
Like people be on campus smoking? Bro, I was in y'all, I'm not gonna lie, I was in your parking lot. Like I'm like I just told you earlier, I'm a weed connoisseur, bro. And I'm a businessman, so I have all types of products. Bro, I came prepared and I had my pen with me. So I was like, all right, I smoked like before I left the house. I would have smoked like here. Everywhere I go out, like try and smoke. But I was like, I'm going to a school. It's not smart. So I brought my pen though. I'm in the parking lot like, you feel me, looking around. And I'm just like, man, because she don't smoke at all. So I'm like, just bear with me, you know? Because I was not sure, bro.
You would have been totally fine. I'm just telling you that right now.
I mean, I
like,
was.
I'll be walking to class and I'll see like people doing full blown bong rips like from their cars. Just going to class like nothing happened.
Smelling like the whole class is smelling, huh? It was in
Yeah,
that session.
and like no one really talks about it. It's just normalized.
That's how I was when I was in school, bro. But like I said, I went to an art school, so fucking.
Everyone has an artsy.
Bro, we was
mentality.
all smelling like weed in class. We all was going. Bro, we had 4-hour classes. We have 2-hour class, like a 2-hour interval, and then like a 30-minute interval in between each 2 hours. So it'd be 2 hours, 30-minute interval, and then
Another
2
2
hours.
hours.
Right. 30-minute interval, bro. We all in the parking lot smoking. Come back to class. It's like 5 kids that didn't smoke. The whole class smelled like weed though.
Man, it's funny because now that I'm here, now that the law passed, it's just like it's everywhere.
Oh, it's
It's everywhere.
in
like,
every age.
And yeah, they're trying to get like every single conceivable demographic too.
Yeah.
Like there's this place, it just opened up on the traffic circle, and funny story. The reason why I went inside because I thought it was a church. Cause it's called the Circle, and just like the Circle, just in big neon letters on the traffic circle. I thought it was a church, so I went in on Sunday to try and see like what it was about, but it ended up being a full-blown dispensary. And it's just like, how do they?
Bro.
It looked like it was
I'm gonna tell you
an
something.
Apple store.
I'm gonna tell you something funny as hell, bro. About 2 years ago, I stay in San Bernardino, right?
Okay.
And there's only like 3 Louisiana chickens, maybe 2 I know of out there. And I don't like chicken like that, but I was craving. When I crave chicken, I crave chicken. So me and my homie, we're going to Louisiana Chicken. Keep in mind, I hadn't been to this specific one in like a year. But regardless, I'm thinking that's still Louisiana Chicken. Bro, we went through the drive-through, dog. When I mean there was a nigga at the end of the drive-through talking about, bro, this is not Louisiana Chicken, bro. This is a dispensary. Bro, Louisiana Chicken sign, everything is still the red and yellow. Bro, when I mean we got to the end of the drive-through and the nigga's talking about, yeah, bro, it's a dispensary, bro. I'm like, nigga, what nigga, what's going on?
How, like, that just shows, okay, nah, I look-y got beef with that. Here's why. Because Long Beach is what I like to call, it's a gentrification capital of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Because literally within the span of a mile, you will see like the richest like motherfuckers on the face of the planet.
Yeah.
And then you will see people like living out of trash bags in the street.
Yeah.
And all that within a really short distance.
Yeah.
So it kind of bothered me to see like have it out in the open, like in the forefront. Just if 5 years ago, if he had that same blunt, you'd be going to jail.
Bro.
That's what annoys me the most about it. It just got so like normalized.
You want to know something funny? The exact where I live, I stay right by Cal State San Bernardino. And if you're familiar with that area, okay, I don't stay like directly around like, cause you know how like how your college is. There's literally houses very like considered on campus, kind of, and then there's the outskirts. I stay more in the outskirts of the college, not like on campus where student housing might be. So where I stay, literally, it's a street difference. Like, say the main street, this is the main street. On this side of the street is the country club. And I mean the country club.
Wait, you talking about Shannon Hills?
Yes.
God.
Look.
Okay. I used to go like golfing there as a kid.
Bro, I live right across the street from there. So there's the country club right there, right? Then right across the street, I stay, and that's like the hood, bro. Like, it's still the hood, bro. And it blows my mind because it's literally walking. Like, I can walk across the street to the country club, and then I can walk back. And there's $250,000 houses over there, mini mansions over there. And then you walk across the street, and it's, nigga, the hood. I stay right there, bro. So when you said that about Long Beach, it really made me like,
just
bro,
like,
I deal with that every day. I see it's homeless people literally just across the street. Then you go across the street, it's Benzes, and it blows my mind. It's schools in there. I'm like, bro.
I don't know what. It's just mind boggling to me to see stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And just to see. Okay, so there's a section of Long Beach called Belmont Shore. Mm-hmm. And Belmont Shore is essentially one of the more... It's right on the water, and as with things in property on the water, it's more expensive. More expensive people live there, more affluent people. You will see people, and 99% of the time, well, 100% of the time, they're always white, just literally like smoking a blunt, like in the middle of the street. I was at the bank the other day, and I saw... a white guy with dreads, he would have dreads, just inside the bank, smoking a blunt.
Inside the bank?
Inside the bank.
You know, I'm going to be honest, that's exactly how it is in New York, too. I mean...
But it's not legal in New York, is it?
Hell no.
That, I'm not sure,
nah,
but
it's not.
see it's not.
No, it's not.
But people, I'm going to be honest with you, people out there, it's a whole nother culture out there.
Well, it's different. You got to think, because I was just watching this documentary on Netflix called Murder Mountain. I don't know if you've seen it.
I've started it, but I haven't finished it.
Yeah, it's really good. And like I said, I'm a weed connoisseur, so I love stuff like that. You feel me? I'm a nerd for shit like that, bro. But it's pretty much about Humboldt County, and how, like, what they went through to get to where they're at now in 2019 with weed being legal. And it taught me, like, for example, like the thing they're dealing with probably in New York is this: there's so many people out there. Who am I to govern weed? Mm-hmm. I can't arrest every nigga. There's another nigga two steps away from that nigga smoking a blunt too. I can't arrest every nigga smoking a blunt, you know? So that's what it becomes after a while, and that's why people can't stop it. And that's why they're legalizing it, because they can't stop it.
It'd be better to do that than just
then
spend a lot of money on police force.
You know, bro, in San Bernardino, you know how many clinics I watched them shut down before all of this was legal last year alone? Hard. In the last 2 years in San Bernardino, I watched every clinic shut down and reopen. Every single one. Every single one got shut down within the last 2 years.
It feels I don't know. I just feel like guilty. even though it's not my fault, but just seeing like
I don't, only because
why?
It's a choice. It's a choice you make as a person and as a business. With business comes risk. With risk comes reward. Yeah, you know? So
that's a good way to put it. Well, let's get back to music, because that was a really big tangent. So you say one of your biggest influences was the great late Michael Jackson.
Yeah, most definitely.
So what albums or music do you say influenced your music the most? And was it his later work or was his earlier work or? Let's start with this first.
I want to. Okay. Go ahead.
So, did you grow up listening to Michael Jackson around the house?
Most definitely.
Okay.
Most definitely. I listen to a lot of Michael Jackson, mainly due to my brother. Like I said, I have an older brother, and he is literally like probably was the first person who even influenced me in any direction of music. Because I feel like especially with hip hop, just life in general, you have to be swayed, to gain any type of interest. But yeah, most definitely, my brother used to play a lot of Michael Jackson, and my mother, when I first moved from LA to the IE, we used to go back and forth because we still have family and friends in LA, And that's all I remember listening to in those car rides. Michael Jackson, Invincible.
Yeah.
that CD was on repeat.
Yeah, I remember. I've been introduced to Michael Jackson since as long as I can remember. But I remember my dad specifically. We were, I don't know what we were doing. My dad used to go around and look at garage sales a lot when I was a kid because he was a very frugal person and he liked to see what he can get for a deal.
I'm gonna keep it a band. All black people have a man like that in their family, bro.
All of them.
My uncle used to be that nigga, bro.
Everyone has an Uncle Julius.
Yes.
It's just somewhere in the family.
Yes.
But yeah, my dad, he went from the garage sale. I never forget this. I was like maybe 8, 9 years old. And then he found a cassette tape of Thriller. And I'm just like, okay, it's Thriller. I've never really heard at that point.
Yeah.
But he gets the tape, and then he realizes that he doesn't have anything to play it on because it's a cassette tape. And so after about searching for something to play this cassette tape on, this was back later on. I had a car, a Toyota Camry. Like a 1989 Toyota Camry.
Oh, so it for sure.
So it had a cassette tape.
Yeah.
And then I popped that sucker in there and I heard Thriller. That wasn't the first time I heard Thriller. I was 16 at that point. But just the fact that he got that tape because he wanted me to listen to it, that really showed how much of influence it had on his life.
Yeah.
And then on my life as a result.
Yeah, no, that's big. And that's one of the reasons I love Michael Jackson as well. I tapped so much deeper into his message.
So what do you have to think about his his accusations being brought up again?
Well, you know what? I'm a very firm believer in facts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And at first it caught me off guard, and I was like, if it's true, it is true. I'm not one of those die hard. If I ride for you, just because I ride for you don't mean you kill a man. He didn't kill that nigga. I'm not that guy, I'm gonna keep it real. But at first it threw me off. But the more and more I seen coming out, what's done in the dark always comes to the light. And I'm a Michael Jackson fan, so I know for one they've been trying to accuse him of these things for years, and he was always proven innocent. That's one thing I had to weigh on it. So with that, I was like, it's a little debunked. Then I just seen something a day or two ago about a kid they mentioned but had never did an interview. He finally had came out, and he was talking about the kids that came out. He was like, it's fake. Mm-hmm. He was like, all this is fake. He was like, for one, he brought up the first thing I brought up. They've been trying to get Michael, and he's always been proven innocent. He's been to court multiple times while he was alive and was proven innocent. For number two, why would these grown men come out years later talking about when I was a kid, Michael Jackson did this to me? Not one, but two people.
Well, I think it's because HBO wanted to do a documentary about it.
That's why, and that's my point, though. I feel that, and that's the only reason. When you look at it like that, it's like, bro, I don't even. My whole worrying was over after that. Once I put those two together, I'm like, yeah, they're trying to make some money because they got R. Kelly right now. They got one black man. They try to get another one, man. So I said, I don't really believe it, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, here's what I'll say. I think R. Kelly did it personally. I feel like he's personally guilty. Then that may be just me.
There's too much evidence now.
Yeah, he's definitely.
There's not even a question because now the question is did he know it was bad? That's what they're trying to figure out now because they're thinking he's psychologically wrong.
Yeah, I think he's definitely sick.
Yeah, no,
in more ways than
so.
one, and that's on the Michael Jackson point. Even if Michael Jackson, if it turns out that he did do what he is accused of,
right,
it won't be hard to connect the dots what happened from his childhood to what he's been accused of.
And I feel like that's what they've been trying to do, though.
Yeah, because
that's a very strong lead, and I believe so too. But in the same sense, there's other things that have been buried that are being dug up that are coming to the surface. That's making it undeniable for me. Oh yeah, Michael really didn't do it. Because his mission, if you really tapped in with Michael, and that's why so many diehards are defending him. Even people who, like I said, I'm not the person to defend a man when he's wrong. So it's just about the truth at the end of the day. And his message was love. And when your message is love, it don't even line up, bro. You know?
They always try to shut people down when they have a positive message.
And he owns, like, if people know the logistics behind it, it's because he owns a lot of the music industry right now. That's on his, in his name a lot.
Yeah, it just seems like, well, no. Well, yeah, because here's what I figured out. I saw this article from BuzzFeed, and it probably had the most disingenuous title of, like, all time. The title was, "Why is rape culture such a significant part of the black community in hip hop?" And even though there may be a hint of truth in that statement, singling it out to one specific community in the hip hop community is just disingenuous. And it makes it seem like only black people are the rapists and the misogynists, and
Well,
so
you gotta look at it like this, bro. Like I said, when you step back and look at it, because like you love what you do, I love what I do.
Yeah.
So we're artists. We look at it and for the art a lot of the time. But when you step back and look at the business, you gotta think, bro. Like it goes back to what the conversation we had off mic, and I don't know if we had it earlier in the mic. I can't think about it, but it goes back to what we were saying about how hip hop is the number one genre in the world right now. You know how intimidating that is? We don't see that because it's love. That's what I'm saying. Like, people don't realize how a lot of African Americans, especially wealthy African Americans, think it's everything we're doing is strictly off of love, because we've seen the bottom. You know what I'm saying? So we're trying to get to the top in the way we know is positive way. And like I said, that intimidates a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? And when you intimidate people and you're in a room full of billionaires and they start looking around and it start getting colorful, they got to do something, bro. And that's how I see it right now, I'll be honest.
Yeah, it's definitely a concept to it. I feel like now that hip hop can, well, again, like the same topic we were talking about, Casey Musgraves. She's the one who won Album of the Year, the country singer. Yeah, the reason why I feel like that became very popular is because it went out to a bigger audience.
Yeah.
And now hip-hop became so popular. Well, it's been popular before, but now it's even getting more of a traction because they're starting to realize it's not just for black people, too. That's where people like...
Because it's about... The culture is... in America is so mixed nowadays to where not one ethnicity identifies with a culture.
Yeah.
It's it's too integrated now. And older people don't realize that, but it's coming to pass. That's why it's becoming as big as it is, because those people who were trying to digress us for years is like, they're dying. They're fading away. They tried to pass it down within their families, but it's like it's overbearing.
And even they're starting to realize that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what you're teaching me is that this group of people is lesser.
Right.
But how could they be lesser if I'm still learning all this stuff about them?
Let's take it to another level. Think about this. The real reason I feel like a lot of the hatred is going to die off too is because when you pass down things, you got to think about this. As a kid, you remember your parent telling you to do something and you don't do it because you're like, wait, kids have that entitlement of like, why are you telling me? Don't tell me what to do, So I don't know why I think of it that deep, but it's like, imagine all these little white kids getting told, don't like Susie over there. Don't be friend. Of course I'm going to be friends with Susie. Of course I'm going to date Bobby, because it's that curiosity now. You should have never told me not to do it.
Yeah, they just love disobey out of curiosity of what is the unknown.
Yeah.
All right, so we got to take a quick break again, and then we're going to wrap up with our closing comments.
All right.
We are back with 22S Media, the next wave of K-Beach. 22S Media is 22sradio.com and 88.1 FM KKJZ HC3. Welcome back to the program, guys, and we are just wrapping up the end of a wonderful conversation I'm having with MillsWasChosen and Autumn Dubra. So we were just on the topic of Michael Jackson, and what my curiosity is, what do you think is going to be the end of this? do you think people are just going to forget about it, or do you think that people are going to eventually
Well, I think it
lose
already.
faith in the Michael Jackson legacy?
No, it's too strong. That's what people don't realize. Like, music is always stronger than he say, she say. You know, It sucks that he's dead to where he can't defend himself. But it's like one of those things. I don't even think it's that serious of an issue, because I haven't really heard like the family talk about it. If they did, you know, that may be me slipping, but I haven't really heard anything about them talking about it. Other than that, like I said, since the days have been passing, things have just been coming out more so to defend him than to, you know, tear him down. So seeing that just lets me know, like, it's just going to be the same reoccurring thing, because, like I said, it's a deeper war than what we're looking at, because it's about money at this point.
Yeah, and it just seems like Wade Robson is the person that is accusing one of the two people that is accusing Michael Jackson of allegations.
Yeah,
he just seems like a sketchy character.
Well, yeah, I mean, these people, I'm gonna be real, like, knowing the type of person Michael Jackson was, anybody that was probably involved with Michael Jackson was sketchy. Like, keeping it real, like, if you weren't, you know what I mean, like, if you weren't family, if you dealt with him, because they dealt with him like that was their mentor, and they were little kids. So it's just knowing that you're probably a sketchy person in general, because Michael Jackson is not, you know, I don't know, like, if you know about Michael Jackson, his personality was very, like, already weird.
Yeah, like, he was not I don't want to be mean, but he was not a normal person at all.
Of course, yeah, most
like,
definitely.
I hear things about, like, his voice wasn't truly like that. He just
I heard
actually
that too.
Copied it and
I
just
heard
faked
that too.
it throughout his entire life.
Yeah, because he because he was a kid at heart.
Yeah,
and that's the thing about Michael Jackson that's tough, and that's why they're trying to do this to him, because everyone knows that really knows about Michael Jackson. He was a kid, so, like, it's very true. Like, if it was the truth, then, like, of course my heart would be broke, but it'd just be something I wouldn't be like, dang, really?
Yeah.
Like, I'll be like, well, it was
like,
possible.
Yeah, like,
You've
it's
seen
not,
it coming, you know.
The thing is that it's not too far out of reach.
Right.
If it's true, then yeah, okay. But if it's not true, it wouldn't be, like we said before, it wouldn't be too hard to connect the dots from when he was a kid to his skin, people trying to paint him out as a weird individual in the
And I've
limelight.
seen multiple interviews and people talk about him like he one thing he always hated was he couldn't live his childhood. That's why he did all the things he did the way he did, because
like climbing trees and building an amusement park.
and started having fun and opened up Neverland Ranch, because the way his path was laid out for him, it was laid out for him. He was kind of forced into show business, you know. So
yeah, and his dad, well, we all know that story.
Yeah.
Not
you
a
know?
good person.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even gonna sit here and say he's not a good person, but he just was. He was different in the way he raised his children. But
Yeah.
I can't say he wasn't a good person, because I do believe his intentions were good, bro. Definitely, because look at what he pushes his family
Look
to
where
do.
they became.
Whole family successful. So I can't say nothing, you know.
Yeah, I guess the means, or the end justify the means in that point.
Oh yeah, because we, you know, even as black kids, we could seen, even if it wasn't our direct father, we've seen some hard, tough people in our life, you know. So especially think back then, they were way tougher on their kids. So it wasn't far fetched back then. That's why when I look at it in hindsight, it's like he was on some different shit. Like, I don't know how I would have felt growing up like that, but it's just like we've seen. Come on, you know, we know people who grew up playing basketball or football in the same situations.
Oh yeah,
You know,
exactly.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
I'm not even gonna lie. Joe Jackson kind of gives me the same vibe as like LeVar Ball. I get that same vibe.
I can see it.
Same
but
vibe.
LeVar Ball,
Same
Ball is
vibe.
like a.
It's the same thing, man. Just different age. It's a different age.
Yeah, like LeVar is more of a clown. Like,
But see, I don't even think
I
LeVar
understand
be
the
joking,
concept.
bro. LeVar be serious. That's the funny part. We be thinking it's funny. He be dead serious, bro. And that's the funniest part.
Here's the thing. Okay, I would say LeVar more specifically, he gasses up
Yeah,
his children
most definitely.
more than Joe Jackson ever would in his entire career. Like in one ESPN like segment, he'll talk about his son more
But
in a
would you
highly
rather
manner.
would you rather have a gassed person or would you rather have the proof? See, and that's what I always respected. Joe Jackson, we've seen the bad, but then we seen the good. So it's like, bro, it's proven. So, but with LeVar, it's like we seen the bad, then we seen the jokes. So it's like, bro, come on, like at the point we're at now, let's say this. The only reason I wouldn't compare him 100% is because we haven't seen the proof. Lonzo actually is breaking records for being hurt the longest. Dead serious. So it's like, bro, I love the movement and I still believe in their vision, but I don't think, right now is their time.
Well, you're talking about the Lakers specifically, or just Lonzo Ball?
Lonzo, the ball situation. Let's just say that.
Yeah, it'll take some time.
Yeah, it'll take some time. I believe
that's
so.
all I'm gonna say.
He got to get his body
situation.
right.
Yeah,
I don't think his body was prepared for what was going on.
and I think because his dad gassed him up so much,
he had to
he
live to
went
a
into the
certain-
league with such high expectations.
But let's be real. He's been living up to those
By far.
expectations.
Yeah.
But see, as far as like the championships, people don't realize you can't say that word. Not in LA.
But championships?
You can't say that word because come on, bro. If you're not a Kobe, if you're not built like Kobe, after Kobe just left, I don't want to hear it. We can't talk. I wouldn't even play with that championship word. I don't know why his dad came talking like that, man.
Well, because he does it for shock value, so people could draw.
So they can make more money
in his brand.
Yeah, so I get that, but it's like, bro, what you gonna do when you go bankrupt off those allegations? What you gonna do?
It's interesting. I always wonder, like, back at Michael Jackson, because his dad pushed him so hard, I wonder if he really wanted to be a musician growing up.
Most definitely, that's why.
You think so?
No, most definitely, that's what they said. That's he actually wasn't even in the group.
Oh, at first
He was too young.
Yeah, and he wouldn't let him do it. Yeah,
That's the part. That's why it's like I feel everybody like because Joe Jackson, he took it overboard, but it's like he would have never took him there unless who was the Jackson 5? Who's Michael Jackson? We would have never seen that. And I mean that because it's like even look at Michael Jackson's path he took. If you know the path he took, he literally broke up with the group because he was sick of it. He was sick of other people writing their songs. He was sick of being controlled by other people. He got so sick of that situation, he changed it. And that's literally like the path I feel like most successful rappers take. That's the path that I'm taking. I got tired of my situation.
And you just leave.
Exactly.
And that's usually when they develop their own sound.
Exactly.
And that's where it gets interesting.
And me looking back though, that's the first artist I seen do it that way. Mm-hmm. And he set a pattern, a big pattern, because singers weren't going platinum like him, writing their own songs, producing
Especially
their own
back then.
music back then. Not at all, not close, bro.
And plus, he reached an audience that was applicable to everybody.
Everybody. And it's when that's the thing. Like I was just telling Autumn and a couple of my business partners the other day. Right now, I'm working on my album. Like the next project I'll release is an album, and I'm working on making my music appreciated by everyone. To where it can talk to different people other than just the IE or people that live in San Bernardino or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's where it's lacking right now. I feel
that's the next step. I believe.
Yeah, most definitely.
But yeah, I'll definitely look forward to it. But it seems like we're almost out of time. Do you have anything else that you want to say?
No, man. I just appreciate you for having us and inviting us down here.
Yeah, I'm down to have this again.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, we definitely gotta get a show going,
bro.
In the area.
When we get off camera right now, we'll talk about that right now.
That's the next step.
That's the next step.
That's the next step.
All right, guys. So thank you for listening to Talk with Spencer program. I'm your host, Spencer Klein. Look up Mills Was Chosen, the latest record, Stay Tuned 3, to be out on all streaming platforms soon. And thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys all next time.
Dope.
All right. Cool.
No, we definitely should set up a show, man. I can help you, bro. Like, man. If you need artists, if you need like